What's up, everybody? Today we're reviewing She-Hulk, episode 4. Is this not real magic? And just so you have a concept to go with you, if you watch this and then went to watch the episode, as a clue to the type of person, you could just emphasize different things from the title. We'll put it. Is this not real magic? There's a few go-to ones. You could just say, is this not real magic? And you would only want to know what type of person or what mindset was brought up to write this episode. So you just enjoy it and go off of something. Because this is the most indirect you can get to receiving a message from a person. The conveyance of whatever, and then just the general entertainment, of course. Your eyes may have been fixed on something, and you kind of want to start scanning things just to offset that usual fixed stare or glaze over, depending. You may have to figure things out and plan stuff all day, and then you kind of just want to shut off and have someone guide you through something while still exercising the similar function, but it's the other side of the scale there, to where it's still engaged but not overworked. It should be pretty simple to see, otherwise it's probably about time you go enjoy some outside time and touch some grass, play with your pet, maybe. But before your mind wanders too far, this is only pertaining to things on the screen, because you may not surely understand why certain things are being presented to you, at least in the show presentation, because they seem like things that don't really get your attention, but they can. They're like little relics of a person. They wouldn't really wear something or hold something, but it's pertinent to their life at some point. Sometimes it's like a whole person. Sometimes it's like this little outfit that they wore for some purpose. But we get a glimpse of a person in this episode that's pretty hype. Madisynn with two N's and a Y, but not what you think. And almost what seems to be the counter of Madisynn is Donnie Blaze as well in this episode. The magician that's I guess a cut rate magician according to Wong. And Donnie wants everyone to be hyped for what he does, but everyone's kind of like, we're here. Yeah, that's something you did. Just the first few moments with these two people from what appears to be like Vegas or something, where the magic show's happening, and Madisyn's in the crowd, and Donnie Blaze is putting the show on. It kind of reminds me of something, I'm not sure, but he at least looks like the old Baron Mordo look from certain images of the comic version of him. Maybe it was like something related to that. I could see it being at least the inspiration, mildly, or something safe and public for everyone to notice and possibly draw the lines for. But after he shows that he could use the sling ring, and pretty much only the sling ring, Wong is going after Donnie Blaze legally, and I guess he makes a new friend within Madisynn with the Y and two N's. It's kind of like a girlfriend thing, but not like girlfriend like girls' night girlfriend. Like she says, they're besties. Kind of like the most awesome placement to have that with Wong as the character for that. If they're insisting on certain characters being in the show, kind of like they didn't have full personality before, now it's this. Because we all know what they do and partially what they say, but it's not like a full personality description. It's not like this is what super strength says, but that's about what certain people like insist on. You see what super strength does, and then you kind of infer a certain message. But also, his favorite show is being spoiled by Madisynn because she was brought to him like, unannounced, and apparently Wong was in the middle of settling down to watch like the 12th episode of The Sopranos, getting more tastes of what everyone does in their spare time when it's not like action, adventure, or even just goal oriented time. During some of the episode, I went to wonder like if there was like a little generator or if he like Wong magically like situated some thing to where he could watch the TV, or maybe like some regular way of just getting internet and television up in the mountains, I guess, or wherever it is he is at. But Madisynn, unabated by the whole situation with the portal and the demons and the goblin, acclimates immediately to The Sopranos and Wong wanting to watch it. She was mentioning about the show The Sopranos and who dies and what happens. She was at least into it enough to like where she like remembers it and is like talking about the worst thing to tell someone who hasn't seen it. But after hanging out with her, Wong goes straight to Jen Walters and wants to see that Donnie Blaze doesn't abuse his magic knowledge, even though he was only like entry level at the Sanctorum, I'll say. So Jen and Wong have to legally reprimand him, and Jen's covering that case. But what's happening in Jen's world is she's trying to go on a dating app and get a date at the behest of Nikki, so she does something else besides work. Because mainly what Nikki says is like she works too much, but she doesn't like say she works too much. She'll be like, "You realize today's Friday, right? Like, what do you need me to get ready?" But you then see Nikki's influence in Jen's life outside of her presence there. You see her once in person, and then you'll see her like calling her or texting her or something like that. Kind of like if you were to ask yourself, is I wonder what they're like outside of work, but it actually you get an answer. But eventually the episode spells out that Nikki's the reason why Jen does anything unwork related, and that's any sort of premeditation to it, like the dating, to maybe like, have people go like, "Oh, I need a friend like that," or something like along those lines. It's kind of like obvious before, and now that I'm saying something, but like now that she's like out of the room, you get to see her lingering influence on Jen while she's more there, like there in a spirit with the text messages going back and forth. Pretty much only existing in the phone, if that doesn't sound so hokey. Otherwise, they're together at work or at the bar, at the courtroom. It doesn't seem like they shop or anything like that, but this is the episode that starts the little storyline for her getting her super spandex. I don't know if it's a super suit, really. Nothing that you'd be like, oh, that's her, but she'll get her colors and everything. Kind of framing in something that's like a full episode's length of storytelling, but it's sprinkled out through the whole season. How uh, some older shows used to do, kind of like what they would be doing with the dating uh, in this episode, but it kind of dead ends a little bit. It's definitely not natural to the show. Maybe not Jen specifically, because it'll be like stuff like afterwards. It's like, oh, like I saw him once and he ghosted me, and then I saw him again with another person that looks exactly like me. Yada yada yada. Like that sort of thing would take over the season. Uh, every now and then for like an episode when it's like focusing in on something a little too long, dicing up like whatever's actually happening. But I like it enough to where it's like what it is and like half and half of the kind of like feats everyone's expecting from some superhero thing and like an actual drama to where you're like emotionally tying it to something that's happened or you've seen or even something you thought that was happening instead of like amping up something that probably wouldn't really happen but it's like very wanted. But to go on to the story, Wong pulls Madisynn like every now and then, and she has like a mystical buddy, and she calls her Wongers. And she goes up to the stand one time to help out Wong and Jen, but it doesn't go so well until Donnie Blaze a different night puts a show on and then pulls out like these sugar glider looking things. I guess sugar flappers because they're like flying around like bats and they're like actual demons and like ruins his own show because he doesn't know how to like control like the sling ring sportal and he like does a truck stop once and I've been like, oh no, like I don't know what you're doing, like I don't have to like end up somewhere random and he's still like trying to dazzle people or whatever. He takes another person's I it almost seems like he is mirroring his mood and he like opens up a little thing to like a fire dimension because he's probably mad. And before there was like some bland looking thing where Madisynn described goblins and demons that had that like kind of looked like a really gray looking like village, medieval village area. Maybe because of how the audience was reacting was, and it was like non-amazed the audience. So I guess he like pulled up some place that was like covered in ash or something because there's like a fireland. Madisynn says. And I'm guessing the truck stop is probably like where he lives. I'm sure there's like a motel like on the other side of the portal to like the opposite of where it's facing. where he like lives and sleeps or whatever. Just because I probably can make that assumption about that guy. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt of him maybe owning it, maybe some nepotism baby thing, and that's why he lives there, but he doesn't get anything else. But Wong is asked to go subdue the problem from Donnie Blaze, and then Wong go gets She-Hulk, but she's on a date. Which later he leaves, think feeling catfished after he had a night with She-Hulk, and Jen was making him breakfast after he walked out from the bedroom. That's like okay, but back to Wong and She-Hulk. They do the Hulk thing and sorcerer thing, and then get rid of all the demons in that little auditorium. And you get to see a fair amount of like the cool effects for Wong's like powers. He makes little like glowy weapons and whips. But it kind of makes you wonder like if he can do that, like why isn't like that little portal on the stage like just dissipate because Donnie Blaze isn't there? Like wouldn't he like use up like his MP or something and just it deplete? It just is like forever. It's like open. But that's just me. Like apparently you can like have a ongoing portal just willy nilly and it doesn't have any lingering effects. It just seems like there's no discrepancy between Sorcerer Supreme and people that barely made it through the first thing and made a party out of the Sanctum Sanctorum or Camertage. It's like a good even moments about like a lot of things, and then the episode ends out with Titania trying to go to court with Jen because she apparently like trademarked She-Hulk and is throwing some amazing shade over Jen after she got scot-free from the disturbing court or whatever it was. But we will see where that takes us next episode. Episode 5 is called Mean Green Straight Poured Into These Jeans. I don't know if that's like a alcohol reference, but we will see. I hope it wasn't anything too repetitive, this review, or strange for that matter. I try to make it very casual, but I will see you next time. This was Sleep Atomic, and I'm Alistair. And if no one's told you yet, you look good. And it shows.